Good morning, friends. Today we're going to read all about Yucky Worms by Vivian French, and the illustrations, those are the pictures, are done by Jessica Alberg. This one says, "We're not yucky. I'm very nice." How rude. What do you think about worms? Do you think they're yucky or do you think they're cool? Think about that. And let's see if the story changes your mind. Yucky worms. One day, when I was in Grandma's garden, Grandma dug up a slimy, slithery, wiggly worm. "Yuck!" I said. "Throw it away." "Throw it away?" Grandma looked horrified. "Would you throw away one of your friends?" "You can't be friends with a worm," I said. "You can't even tell which end is which." "Yes, you can. Watch." Grandma put the worm down. He gave a kind of squirmy, wiggly, and disappeared really fast, pointy end first. As the rounded end vanished, Grandma said, "There goes its tail." I bent down to look, and I could see it had left a little tunnel. "Where did it go?" I asked. "Home," Grandma said. "It's an earthworm. It lives underground." So that's what an earthworm would look like. "But what does it eat? Dirt?" I wanted to know. "It eats tiny, tiny stones and bits of dirt," Grandma told me. "But worms eat other things too, like rotting leaves and flowers and fruits and dead insects. They especially like eating at night. The stones and dirt help to grind everything up in the worm's stomach, and then the worm poops it back out." Weird. Grandma pointed at the flower bed. "Look, can you see?" I bent down and I saw what looked like a weird, long, curly worm made out of dirt. "That's a worm poop," Grandma said. "It's called a cast. You know when you recycle things? Well, worms do it too. There's a lot of goodness left in the things a worm eats, and when the goodness comes out again as poop, it helps plants to grow big and strong. And as the worms move around, under and on top of the soil, the poop gets spread out around the garden." It's kind of weird, huh? "That's why worms are my friends." Grandma gave me a thumbs up. "And it's not just that that's good for plants. The tunnels they dig loosen the soil so roots can stretch out and air and rainwater can get in. See those tunnels that all the worms left under the ground?" "But it's dangerous being a worm," Grandma said. I stared at her. "Dangerous?" I asked. She smiled at me. "Lots and lots of animals think worms make the most delicious dinner. Birds love them, and so do moles, badgers, frogs, hedgehogs, and foxes. Even some slugs eat worms, and human beings accidentally slice through them with spades and spike them with forks. It's a tough life." "Cutting them in half doesn't hurt them, Grandma," I said. "They just turn into two worms and keep on growing." Grandma shook her head. "Poor worms. Lots of people think that, but that's not true." She put her fork down. "Time for a snack." What do you think they're going to eat? Grandma had tea, and I had orange juice. "Can I dig up a worm?" I asked. "If it rains," Grandma said, "the worms will come up on their own." Have you seen that before? After it rains and on the sidewalk or in the grass, there's lots of worms. They come up to get some water. I took a cookie. "What if it doesn't rain?" Grandma winked at me. "We'll use the watering can and pretend." I finished my cookie as fast as I could. "Can we trick the worms now?" Grandma filled the watering can and I watered the ground. Then I stood back. I didn't want the worms chewing at my shoes. "They only put their heads out," Grandma promised, "and it'll be a while before they do. So he's got to be patient, right?" Grandma was right. I had time to eat 2 more cookies before she said, "Look!" "Wow," I said. I could just see the tip of a worm above the ground. "Now watch this." Grandma stomped her foot and the worm disappeared. "Did it see you?" I asked. Grandma shook her head. "Worms don't have eyes. They feel vibrations, though, and a thump like that might mean a hungry bird is landing. Danger!" Grandma dug her fork in the ground. Up came lots of dirt and wriggly worms. She picked one up and washed it in the watering can. "Mustn't drop it," she said. "They can't swim." Grandma put the clean worm on some paper and held it near my ear. I could hear a tiny rustling noise. "What's that?" "They're covered in little bristles," Grandma said. "The bristles and their muscles help them move." "I've got muscles too." I bent my arm so Grandma couldn't see. "If you've got so many muscles," she said, "maybe you'd like to help me plant my sunflower seedlings." "Okay," I agreed, and then I thought of something. "When I go to school on Monday, I'm going to say that I've got lots of new friends." "Good idea," said Grandma. "But I might not actually say that they're worms." The end. Thank you for sharing your story today, friends. Did that change how you think about worms? Do you still think they're gross, or do you think they're helpful? You're going to write about it in your journal. I'm excited to see it.